Your faith depends on who you listen to. The success in your life, the destiny of your soul, is linked to your faith. If your faith is compromised by doubts, then you will not go very far in life. But when doubts are removed, when doubts are eliminated, that's when our faith prospers. I want to read with you today about the faith of Abraham. Intelligent, efficient, and fruitful. Let's find out more what Abraham did. Sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith. Abraham got called. Yes, he replied, here I am. Take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, which I will show you. The next morning, Abraham got up early. He saddled his donkey and took two of his servants with him, along with his son Isaac. All right, do you notice here that God tested Abraham not because he wanted to take away his son? I want to make that very clear. It was simply a test for God to see who was first in his life. And God, knowing us, he used that test for Abraham to discover the faith he had. And then Abraham, the next day, early in the morning, he left, obeying the voice of God, and brought two of his servants with him to carry all the goods, to carry the woods, and to travel together for protection. But notice that he never spoke to his wife about this important decision in his life. And what can we learn from that? Two things. Number one, our faith is individual. Not everything that we do, we can transfer that to others. Faith, have it for yourself. And you cannot force your faith upon your family. You cannot force your faith, your belief upon your children, upon your spouse, upon your parents. Abraham had faith, and maybe Sarah didn't have the faith to sacrifice her son Isaac. And that's why Abraham didn't tell his wife. And also because he knew that if Sarah would not agree, and if she would have doubts, most likely Sarah would transfer the doubts to Abraham, and the doubts would cancel his faith. So knowing this, Abraham intelligently looked forward and understood, for my faith to be fruitful and for me to obey God without any doubts, I have to close the doors to any chance of doubts. I cannot allow any other voice to enter into my mind to cancel the voice of God. And the Bible says we cannot serve two masters. It's very hard for you to listen to two people at the same time. Try to ask two people to talk to you at the same time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of confusion in your mind. Try to switch on two TVs and listen to two programs at the same time. And you're going to have an explosion in your mind, confusion in the mind. And that's exactly the intelligence that Abraham had. Abraham was determined to obey God. He was determined to be successful. He was determined to be fruitful. And for that to happen, he had to close the doors to all the other voices. He had to switch off all the other opinions. He would not allow doubts to contaminate his faith. And then, as he traveled to Mount Moriah, because he was determined to pass the test, to be approved, look what happened next. On the third day of their journey, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. "Stay here with the donkey," Abraham told the servants. "The boy and I will travel a little farther." One more lesson we are learning here. Abraham told the two servants, "Stay here because I will travel with my son alone. Do not follow me." Once again, teaching us that faith is individual and personal. I cannot act my faith on your behalf, and you cannot exercise your faith on my behalf. I cannot transfer my faith to you. You cannot transfer your faith to me. It's something personal. If I'm going to the altar, if I'm surrendering my life to God, if I get baptized in water, if I climb the altar to make a vow, it's so personal that I have to go alone. And nobody else can accompany me. And this is something you have to understand. You cannot force your faith upon your family. And you cannot force your belief upon your children, upon your wife, upon your husband, upon your parents. If you have faith, have it for yourself. And Abraham was so determined to fulfill his mission, to stay focused. He knew, if I allow those two servants to come with me, they may try to stop me from sacrificing my son. Those two servants, they may try to change my mind. And I don't want my mind to be changed. So he told them, "Stay here." And this is the faith that proves to God that we are serious, that we are committed, that we are focused, and that nobody and nothing can separate us from doing the will of God. And I believe all these steps that Abraham took, all those little details that Abraham touched, all the gaps that he closed, was all part of the faith that he presented to God. A quality faith, a complete faith, a faith free from doubts. And when your faith is free from doubt, it produces fruit, it brings success. And that's why God blessed Abraham, and that's why God rewarded Abraham. If you are a person, and if you feel that sometimes your faith is not bringing the result that you expect, could it be the case that you are listening to more than one voice? Could it be the case that you have doubts in your minds, even a little bit of doubt, but the doubt came from a moment when you listened to many other opinions of friends and family members, social media, colleagues, sometimes with a good intention, but those opinions, they brought you doubt, and the doubts brought you confusion, and the confusion canceled the voice of God. Now you know when faith works and when faith doesn't work. If you want to join our School of Faith, this Wednesday we're going to have our School of Intelligent Faith, and you can join the Bible study, and we're going to have the Lord's Supper, the Holy Communion, to enable us to strengthen and boost our faith. You are invited. to the Lord's Supper here in Hong Kong, Kowloon, on a Wednesday. Scan the QR code for more information and to get the address. We're open 7 days a week, all right? And do not forget, we are right now in the campaign of Israel, going to the Temple of Solomon. It's a journey of faith to Mount Moriah in the faith of Abraham. And you can join our prayer of agreement tonight, 10 p.m. If you want to know more about the voice of faith and how to cancel the voice of doubt, then pray together with us tonight, 10 o'clock in the evening, on our website, uckg.hk, live streaming, or you can send us a message, WhatsApp us, for you to enter our private group on Facebook. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back again tomorrow with the voice of faith. God bless you abundantly. Bye-bye.